Okay, good morning, class.
Morning, sir.
So today we're looking at probability. So at this point we look at the mutually inclusive, mutually exclusive, the additional laws of probability or for probability. Then we went into complementary rules. Then we spoke about calculating. Then we spoke about Venn diagrams, correct? Calculating the probability using a Venn diagram. The homework was exercise 12.2, and then we're now at the examples for exercise 12.3. We're going to draw Venn diagrams today. 12.3, and that is on page 204. 404. However, the example 1 is on page 401. All right. So the example on page 401, we are told that a company completed a survey with its 160 employees to determine which language they could speak other than English. Okay. So what we're going to do is we know we're going to go into a Venn diagram. Okay. So this is normally a sample space. If there are 160 employees at this workplace, the sample space must add up to 160. You all agree with that? "93 could speak isiZulu." So I'm going to put Z for Zulu. isiZulu. So 97. 75, sorry. Nope, that is actually 93. I'm messing up here. Let's take it out. Alright, so 93 could speak Zulu. So Z is 93. I'm going to put here 93. I don't need to put it there. 75 could speak Afrikaans, A for Afrikaans. 75. And then we have another language, Afrikaans. 62 could speak Afrikaans. So what does that mean? That means to say the people that speak Afrikaans only, plus the people, because Afrikaans first. It's supposed to have been Sotho. Okay. The sample space is already given S, so I can't put another S there. So let's just call that Sesotho, the SO. So that means to say that the people that speak Sotho only, people that speak Sotho and Afrikaans only, the people that speak Sotho, Afrikaans and Zulu, the people that speak Zulu, Sesotho only, all of that adds up to 62. Can you see that? Likewise, the people that speak Zulu only, the people that speak Zulu and Afrikaans only, the people that speak Zulu and Sesotho only, and Afrikaans, and the people who speak Zulu and Sesotho only. That all adds up to 93. Likewise, this here, that plus this plus that plus that will add up to 75. Then all these parts plus these circles plus that on the outside adds up to 160. Do you guys understand? No. So let's go. "15 could speak all 3 languages." So where do you think the 15 will go? In the middle. So 15 could speak all 3 languages. The 15 goes there. Okay. 44 could speak Zulu and Afrikaans. 44 could speak Zulu and Afrikaans. So that adds up to 44. Can you see that, people? He didn't say 44 could speak is Zulu and Afrikaans only. If it had said that speaks Zulu and Afrikaans only, then that 44 will lie there. You guys understand? But because he didn't specify that, that means to say that 44 includes the 15. You guys understand? So what's 44 minus 15? Sorry? 21. 29. Okay. 23 could speak Sesotho and Afrikaans. 23, which means to say that it's inclusive or exclusive of that 50? Including that 50. You understand? So 23 minus 15? 8. 18 could speak Sesotho only. 18 could speak Sesotho only. So where do we put that? The bottom. 18. Okay? Use a Venn diagram to calculate the probability that an employee chosen at random can speak all 3 languages. So, before we're going to go any further here, we can fill in the empty spaces, namely Afrikaans only, Zulu only, Sesotho and Zulu only, and whatever is on the outside, which means to say they don't speak neither Zulu, Afrikaans, or no Sesotho. You guys understand? So, looking at that information, what can be calculated first? Afrikaans only. Not so. Or we could have calculated Sesotho or Zulu only as well. Okay? So let's do the calculation here. So remember that these parts add up to 75. So I say 75 minus 29 minus 15 minus 8. That adds up to 23. So 23 goes here. Okay. We can't calculate Zulu at this point. Why? Because there's 2 unknowns here. Can you see that, people? However, Sesotho, I can say that plus that plus that plus that adds up to 62. Okay? So I can just simply say 62 minus 15 minus 8 minus 18. Gives us 21. There's 21 that speaks Zulu and Sesotho only. Okay? So what can be calculated now? Zulu only. So how do I do that calculation? 93 minus 29 minus 15 minus 21. Give me an answer of 28. Now there might be people that doesn't speak none of these languages. Not so? So what I do is, I can do the following calculation. We know that this here adds up to what? All of those parts adds up to 93. So I can say 93 plus 23 plus 8 plus 18 plus x is equal to 160. Not so that x is that on the outside here. You guys understand? Or I could have said 28 plus 29 plus 15 plus 21 plus 18 plus 8 plus 23 plus this unknown x on the outside is equal to 160. You guys understand? Is there any confusion thus far? Alright. So let's do that calculation quickly. I tell you when I'm moving too fast. No? I feel like I'm moving too slow. So it's going to be 160 minus 93 minus 23 minus 8 minus 18. 23 minus 8. Give you an answer of 18. So what does that mean? There's 18 employees that doesn't speak none of the languages in question. You guys understand? So let's answer the questions. Okay. Let's go with 8. We calculate the probability. How do we calculate probability? It's number of favorable outcomes over number of possible outcomes. How many possible people are there to choose from in total? 160. So it's simply going to be the probability of all 3 languages. So how many speaks all 3 languages? 15 out of 160. 15 out of 160? 3 over 32. Okay, you will understand. Let's go to B. This is Zulu and Sesotho, but not Afrikaans. Zulu, Sesotho, but not Afrikaans. So it's omitting that. So it's going to be and. So it's going to be that part where it overlaps. You would agree with that? So in other words, that calculation is going to be 21 over 160. Probability is 21 over 160. And that I think is in the simplest form. No? Let's look at C. C says, none of the languages under consideration. So the employee chosen at random cannot speak any of these languages. So how many of these employees cannot speak any of these languages? 18. And it's 18 out of 160. What is 18 over 160? 9 over 18. T. 9 over 18. See any confusion there? Huh? No? Let's look at D. Sesotho and Afrikaans but not Zulu. Sesotho, Afrikaans but not Zulu. So that gives me 8. So the probability is simply going to be 8 over 160, which is 1 over 20. Or you can write it in its decimal equivalent. Or I can write it as a percentage, doesn't matter. Okay. E, Afrikaans only. Afrikaans only is going to be 23. The probability will be 23 out of 160. And I think that is in the simplest form. Okay, so any confusion? No. Okay. So with that, you should be able to do numbers 1 to 4 from this exercise. Okay. But I'm going to explain the next part one time. So if you have a problem with numbers 1 to 4 of exercise 2.23 and 12.3, you refer back to example 1. If you have a problem with the remainder of the exercise, it will cover in example 2. Okay. But of course our exercise is your own. Right, so let's look at example 2. Example 2 is on page 403. The full lesson also can be found in the description box below. We have actually done parts of the exercise. I think I did all the odd numbers. Okay. Right, so let's look at example 2 on page 403. We are told that in a grade 11 group of 65 learners. Okay, so now we'll make this a bit smaller and we need this information. Example 2. Okay, in a grade 11 group of 65 learners. So what does that mean? Where's the 65 going to go? The sample space. Okay. So let's draw the Venn diagram. So the sample space has 65 learners. Okay, I'm almost sure it's going to be a 3-way Venn diagram. There are 5 learners who take physical science, life science and geography. So it's physical science, physics, life science and geography. Okay. So where would that 5 go? In the middle. Okay. And 8 learners do not take any of these subjects. So where does that 8 go? On the outside. Am I moving too fast? Does it move faster? Okay. Jordan, you okay, my girl? I feel. Okay, 32 learners take physical science. So where do I put that? Did you say 23? That means to say, sorry, 32, no? That means to say what? That means to say that plus is 5 plus this add up to 32. Not O. Right. So 32 learners takes physical science. 29 takes life science. Where did 29 go? Next to L is. Alright. 19 takes geography. Geo? 19. That means you say this plus that plus that plus that adds up to 19. Okay. Oops. 13 of these learners takes physical science and life science. Alright, so let's change our color. 13 takes physical science and life science. Now, that 13 is across both those subsets. Can you see that, those parts? Even if it said 13 takes physical science and life science only, then that 13 goes there. Many makes this mistake. Do not make this mistake, okay? It will only go there if it says physical science and life science only. Okay? Did it say that? No. So that means you say that 13 is inclusive of the 5. So which means to say 8 does physical science and life science only. Verstaan julle? Right. Then we are told, whilst 8 takes physical science and geography. 8 takes physical science. Whilst 8 takes physical science and geography. So physical science and geography, 8. So this whole part should be 8. Not so. So that, how much does physical science and geography only? 3. 8 minus 5 is 3, of course. Then it says, draw a Venn diagram to illustrate the data. Right, we got so far. So what can be calculated first? Physical science. So how can I calculate physical science? So it will be 32 minus 8 minus 5 minus 3. Gives us 16. Alright. Now what can be calculated? Geography. How are you going to calculate? Geography is 90. Geography only. But what do you notice here? For geography, how many unknowns do I have? 2. For life science, how many unknowns do I have? 2. Which means to say, at this point I can't calculate straight geography only, life science only, or geography, life science only. Okay, you guys understand? So there's something missing. So what we do is we say, change the color again. Let, this is now A now, né? We say, this is all part of A. So we say let the number of people doing life science and geo equal X. So I'm bringing X into the sum, my own variable. Remember, whenever we bring something into a sum, we must state it. Okay? Can't bring your X to the party and then nobody knows your X, no? Right? So in other words, people, I can calculate the value that goes here. Okay? And how do I do that? I say that unknown, let's call it that, plus this X, plus the 5, plus the 3 is equal to 19. So that unknown, that void there, or the blank, whatever, is equal to 19 minus 5, which is 14 minus 3 is 11. So that's going to be 11 minus x. Yeah. Okay. You all okay with that? I know most of you can do this in your heads, okay? I can't, so that's why I write it down. Okay. You see, we're working very slowly when it comes to this work. No? This and geometry. Besides it being our favorite, no? We work very slowly so that we don't make mistakes. Okay. People, this missing space there, let's call that whatever. Plus x plus 5 plus 8 is equal to what? 29. So that empty space is equal to 29 minus 8 is 21. Minus 5 is 16. No? Minus x. Can you see that, people? So how does that now help us? Do I need to show that calculation? No. That's why I'm taking it. How does that help us now? We now can say that, hang on, I normally take the most. Physical science, because I'm lazy. Physical science, which is 32, plus x minus 6, plus x, plus 11 minus x, plus 8 equals? Why? You must add up to the total. You will understand. So let's do that calculation quickly. Otherwise, if you're that kind of girl that want to write 16 plus 8 plus 5 plus 3 plus 11 minus x plus 16 minus x plus 8 is no problem. Okay, you'll just think there's something wrong with you, but it's fine. You're going to get the full mark anyway. Okay. Whoops. Went too fast. Alright. So let's do that calculation quickly. So it's going to be 32 plus 16 minus x plus x plus 11 minus x plus 8 equals 65. Now we solve for x. No? Let's take those x's out, so minus x is equal to, now calculators, not in our heads, 65 minus 32 minus 16 minus 11 minus 8. Give me an answer of negative 2. So therefore, x is equal to 2. Okay. So which means now to say, I can replace these x's with 2. So that is simply going to be what here? 2. Whoops. Simply going to be 2. 11 minus 2? 9. Yes, that's going to be 9 here. And 16 minus 2 is 14. 14 and I'll check if that's correct. Okay, right. See any other confusion here? Right. So let's look at the first question that follows this now. A learner is chosen at random. Okay. Okay, so B says, so A says draw the Venn diagram, and I just checked now that they didn't go all the way like we did, okay? They still did it in parts. Okay, so B says, a learner is chosen at random from a group of 65 learners. Determine each of the following probabilities. The learner chosen will take physical science only. The learner takes physical science only. So I'm going to take this off here. The learner takes physical science only. So if I look at physical science only, it is 16. So the probability is simply going to be 16 over 65. Okay, work that out. Sorry? Simplest form. Let's look at the second part of this question. The learner will take physical science and geography, but not life science. The learner takes physical science and geography, but not life science. So it's going to be 3. We all agree with that. So the probability is going to be 3 out of 65. Question 3. A learner chosen will take life science and geography, but not physical science. So he's cutting this out here. So it's basically 2. Now if you didn't calculate your x at this point, this is the point you would have calculated. Not so. So here we to say the probability will be 2 out of 65, which is also in its simplest form. People, you guys understand? Is there any confusion here? No. Okay, again, this will cover the second half of the exercise, this question. Alright? So your homework is exercise 12.3, number 1 to 4, and then the following day's homework is going to be the remainder of the exercise. Okay? At this point, we'll stop the video.